Hello everybody and welcome back. Things just keep happening and I just have to keep recording. I've done a video quite a few days in a row now, so this video will probably be kind of short because I don't have much to say. But I checked the weather last night before I went to bed and sure enough, today is our first storm. There's a terrible storm raging outside. You won't be able to move very quickly. So, luckily for us, we can stand still without the wind blowing us away, which is nice, but we're not going to be able to move quickly at all. You can see that our movement is quite restricted. So on the day of a storm, you can harvest anything that is available. Unfortunately, anything that you haven't been able to harvest has the chance to get destroyed. You're not going to be able to see the effects of the storm until the day after the storm. So right now, it looks like everything has survived and everything is sort of hunky-dory, but unfortunately when you wake up in the morning, that is when you will see the devastation of the previous day's storm. And unfortunately, for the most part, you're kind of helpless. There's not really much you can do. If you have the ability to harvest anything, that's great, but if you don't, then it can be kind of frustrating to think about all the stuff you've planted possibly being destroyed. The more plants you have, the less devastation. The higher chance, things will have to survive. And it will also depend on the plants that you have planted. So for example, on the left-hand side here, I have squash on these 9 squares, and I have lemon here on these 9 squares. Squash holds up very good in storms. Squash and I think onions are 2 of the better ones for holding up against storms, whereas everything else I have is not so good. So lemons don't fare very well. I have corn over here, which also doesn't fare very well. I've got tomatoes. I just harvested the onions, so those are safe, and I will have to replant those after the storm is over. So it's really just going to depend. We're kind of up to the mercy of Mother Nature at this point. So we're kind of have to see the devastation tomorrow. So I am kind of lucky that I didn't go ahead and plant a lot of those other really expensive things like melon and pineapple, because if I had, then they may have gotten blown away, especially because from what I remember, pineapple and melon both don't do good in storms. But what you can do is on the day of a storm, if you predict that you might want to replant some of your stuff, you can go ahead and buy things to plant them. Even though it's stormy, stuff is going to be open. So if you could make your way into Volcano Town, the supermarket will be open. So just as an example, I did buy the pineapple seeds, which went into my storage. And you should be able to read the description on the seed to see how it fares in weather. Once you've planted it, there's not really any way to know how it's going to do. So you kind of just have to plan ahead of time. So let's just take out the pineapple seeds as an example. A crop that grows in summer, usually harvested in 14 days, very weak in storms. We will plant those at another day. I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be another storm, but to my knowledge, that storm will always be kind of scripted to happen on the 8th day of summer. So that might be something to keep in mind. And just want to show off that not only do you walk slowly against the storm, but for some dumb reason, you also drive slowly. I mean, obviously you drive faster than you do walking, but I would think that a high-powered buggy would do a little bit better in the weather, but unfortunately, you're not going to be getting around to doing much on stormy days because you do move so slowly, it takes so long to get from point A to point B, etc. So it's completely up to you what you want to do. It might be a good day to kind of sit inside and do a lot of cooking. It might be a good idea to go up to your farm and use your tools as much as possible if you're able to. And then finally, what I want to show off is that I did go and buy a chicken. The Clucko-Matic came, and I was able to go onto TV and order a chicken. So I haven't done much with the chicken yet because I only just got it. But from what I can see, it's going to give you 1 egg per day. And because you have makers already available, you can go right ahead and turn it into mayonnaise like right off the bat if you want to. And I'm not sure. It doesn't really look like there's a shipping pod in here that I can see anyways. So you can probably just put it in your bag and then take it upstairs. You get $200 a piece for one of these. Organic mayonnaise made from an egg laid on Robo's farm, surprisingly light and tasty. So if you think about it, if you pay $500 for a chicken, that chicken will pay itself off in 3 days' time, which is pretty darn amazing if I do say so myself. I didn't think it would be that high of a shipping price, but that's pretty impressive. Now, when I bought the chicken, it said that I can have up to 5 at a time, so you can buy as many as you want, up to 5 as you'd like, and I would assume that each chicken's egg would just be on the conveyor belt as you got more and more chickens. And then this chicken here, of course, is the Clucko-Matic. We've started our animal production. And that's really all I got done since yesterday, obviously, because I had just recorded. But like I said, I wasn't sure if there was going to be another storm, so I thought that it was important to sort of show that off. So maybe what I'll do is we'll just go to bed and wake up, and then we can sort of see the storm's devastation in the morning, just as an example. Just because I don't really have much else that I want to do today. So, as you can see, our more sturdier plants like our squash, only 2 pieces got wiped out, whereas something like our corn, like 5 out of the 9 plants got wiped out. So, our lemon actually fared pretty well. I'm very surprised. Only 2, even though it's a relatively non-sturdy plant. Same with tomatoes, only 3 out of the 9 got wiped out. So it's going to be up to you what you want to do at this point. If you want to write down how many of each seed you need, go to the supermarket and replace them, or if you just want to grow what you have here or start growing somewhere else. I guess you have a lot of options after the storm, and all things considered, that's actually not too bad, especially because this was stuff I didn't pay a lot of money for. Like I said, I didn't sink money into buying melon or pineapple seeds before the storm. So I think that even though a couple of things got wiped out, it's not going to make that big of a difference with my profits overall. So that could have been a lot worse. I just want to take a quick lay of the land here, because I know that in other games, storms will always bring stuff in with it. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. Usually you'll get rocks and stumps and weeds and things like that on your farm to take care of, but I think because a lot of our land isn't uncovered, there's not really any place for that stuff to go. So I'm not entirely sure if that's a part of the storm system in this game. Obviously crop destruction is, but I'm not sure if land destruction or like debris coming onto your property is. That we still have to test that out and see. So I guess that's it, guys. We lived through our first storm, so demonstrating what happens in a storm and after. It's now a new week. We're on Tuesday, day 9, so hopefully now things will stop happening for a little while so I can get back to just playing and getting to the next point where I can record something that is going to go on and happen. So I guess that I will see you guys either in the next video I make or on next Sunday when we have our next maintenance. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.